Hello everybody, it is Tuesday, the 11th of January. I want to make two videos today. I want to talk about this one first, which is the war in heaven, and then talk about the Whore of Babylon. One is the knowledge of inside of us. The other is the knowledge of what is happening outside of us. But you need this one first to understand the other. So, the war in heaven. I want to talk about this using myself as an example. Now, I'm not saying this is how it is. Your two sides might have different desires from my two sides. So, but it is just to show the principle. So when I was thinking about the war in heaven and the fact that I myself are not at peace, so what is depicted there, you need to look for inside of yourself. First, kingdom within first, before you can see the kingdom without. It applies to both, but you need to see it here first. So, and it came to me that the war that is going on is between the two hemispheres of our brain. The war that is going on in heaven, up here. It is the war between the left, which is materialistic knowledge. It is math, it's calculations, that sort of thing, science. And the right, which is creativity, emotions live on the right side. On the right hand side, that sort of thing. So as I was, and again it was the marriage, the bride, getting married, and that was a couple of years ago now at least, that I was on that thought, who is my husband? How should this be? And I was driving in my car and I actually saw a number plate that spelled a name. And when I came home, that was while I was asking this question, and when I came home I looked up the name, and the meaning of the name was earth worker, farmer basically. So, but then as I went along, and again the thought came, what am I, or what am I talking to you, what do you need? My thought at that time was a teacher. I need a teacher. Somebody to teach me, or something to teach me what's going on here. And those are my two desires. And those are my two sides that have been at war with each other. Not just at war, they also have been given to each other, but one is trying to dominate the other, always does. So you have the teacher, which is the left-hand side of your brain, which is knowledge derived out of reason, intellect reasoning. And it was fed by what I saw on the internet, what I read in the Bible, all these different knowledges. It's going through the garden, through the trees, and it gains an understanding. Now, the other side, the earth worker, would gain its understanding from out of emotional knowing, from this earth, connecting to this earth, gaining the knowledge of the earth. And out of it came, when you dream about what should happen to you or where you want to go, there were two dreams. The left, the teacher, wants to be in a temple, and it wants to debate with others. It wants to be something like Gaia or something like that, It wants to debate with others. Whereas the earth worker really wants to be up to its eyeballs in muck and creepy crawlies and really happy as a pig in muck, quite literally. It wants polytunnels, it wants plants, it wants just life growing all around it. It does not want to go into a temple. It says, don't worship in buildings of wood and stone. It says, lift a stone, no, break a piece of wood and you will find me, lift a stone and I will be there. So there are the two sides that are at war with each other. And the only way there can be peace is if you are given something that both of them can get their teeth into. So whatever your two sides are, your desire should be for something that gives to both. And whereas knowledge can be got out of books or from videos or from other sources, it can also be gained straight from the earth, straight out of life, which has happened to me for the last week. It was out of life that where I was looking at my life and what was happening and gaining the knowledge out of that rather than from books. So there the two can be brought together into one desire, and for us to ask correctly, that has to happen. There will never be peace, and there is a way which is the Eastern teaching and the Western teaching, religious teachings, where one side says, get rid of desire, get rid of what you know, and just be emotional knowledge. And the other side says, we are of the light, we are of intellectual knowledge. And there the two are divided. They must be brought together. And first of all, inside of us, we must have that understanding inside of us, because it is that division that is being worked on us, where the two sides are divided. What you see in society and everything else, that is a picture of that principle, but first of all, the division happens up there. And I said, I was given a thought that I need to bring something home. And that is that the teacher part is off into the blue yonder. It's thinking about spiritual things and, it's up in heaven. It's detached from life. It is theory detached from life. And it must be reattached to life, to be brought back to earth. And that is what Jesus said. We are of the light. The teacher, he was the teacher. Many of his disciples actually referred to him as teacher. And he was off into the blue yonder, detached from, and he quite literally left the planet in the end. And that is not what this is supposed to do. It should serve you here. The knowledge should serve life, and life is here and now. So there's the war in heaven. There are the two sides that are detached in different ways to theoretical knowledge and to experience of life, and the two of them have to be brought together to serve life. So now that I've said this, I want to talk about the Whore of Babylon next, in my next video, because there's something they're doing, and I'm loath to bring up David Icke now, because he is now one of the ones where I can see he goes into the blue yonder all the time. He has he gets hold of a piece of knowledge and then he goes running with it, and he doesn't know where to stop. But in one part he was actually very right, and that is when you can see the outcome. If you know the outcome, you can see the way. And it is the Whore of Babylon is the way to the end of the book of Revelation. And out of this understanding of the war in heaven, what it actually means, the two sides that are at war with each other, you can actually see what they're doing. And I want to talk about that in the next video. And I talk to you then. Bye.